tonight, actually, for the first time. Her name is Sandra. She's from around Frankfurt, Germany, so international again. And she is super, super excited. She's a senior on the rowing team to share her testimony tonight. So go ahead, come on down, Sandra. You don't need it?
Yeah, I just gotta speak loud enough. Alright, yeah, so I'm Sandra. I'm a senior on the rowing team. This is the first time I'm sharing my testimony, so let's see how it goes. I'm gonna start it a little bit different. So I'm gonna give you a quote of one of my favorite authors. It's J.K. Rowling. And it says, rock bottom became my solid foundation. And I picked that quote because it really, for me, represents how my whole journey towards Christ started. But to give you a little bit of background, so as I said, I'm from Germany. I really grew up like nothing to do with Christianity. My parents are not religious. German culture is not very religious. Like none of my friends went to church. So I really didn't have a connection to that and didn't really have a reason. I started rowing when I was 11 years old. So that was like, I was pretty successful in rowing. I was doing decent in school, so everything was okay, and I thought I was really happy. And then when I was about 16, 17, my coach at that time was verbally abusive. And my parents got a divorce, like pretty bad timing for both of those happening together. So it was just like, my life really started to crumble and everything just kind of fell apart. Like everything that I had my identity in was just suddenly taken away from me. And I just didn't really know like who I was, what was going on. So after 2 years, I graduated from high school and I got the opportunity to come overseas and come here to OSU. And I was just like, you know, why not? Like there was nothing holding me back, and I was like, I just gotta go. So I took a plane overseas for the first time. I was the first person in my family that ever went overseas. And what I didn't notice at that point was that even though I didn't know Christ in my life yet, I was totally running towards him, just not knowing it. So coming to OSU was like a very different experience for me. I met a lot of new people, like a lot of my teammates, and just random people that I met seemed very happy and just very content and in peace. And that was something that I noticed immediately, and that was something that really like got my attention. I was like, I wonder like where that's coming from, like what's going on. So I just started asking some questions. I noticed that a lot of those people that I met that seemed so happy always had a connection to Christianity, and I was like, you know, that's kind of odd. I wonder like if there's like if that's actually true, like if there's a thing. So I went to the upperclassmen my freshman year, had a team Bible study. So I went like did this and just asked a couple of questions, met with teammates. One of them is actually sitting here today. And then I started meeting with Julie. So I just asked a couple of questions and Julie calls it, I started my quest of knowledge. So for like a year and a half, I would just meet with her and like ask all those questions, because for me it was just like, I knew that Christians believed in Jesus and I knew that Jesus was God, but that was just a fact and it didn't really make sense to me. And I was like, I'm a very scientific person, so I was like, it needs to make sense, and I needed a scientific reason to believe in it. So after a year of just asking questions all the time, I remember there was one time when we were sitting at Panera on North Campus, and I don't remember what exactly we were talking about, but I just asked Julie, I was like, are you happy? And she said, yes, I am. And for some reason, that was something that just clicked. And I was sitting there and it perfectly made sense. Like immediately I was like, I'm so content, and that's something I need to believe in because that's just truth. So it was the first time where I felt like that my heart and my mind were finally on the same page. And I just felt that it was right. There's a quote from a French philosopher that I want to give you guys. And it says, there's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every person, and it can never be filled by any created things. It can only be filled by God, made known through Jesus Christ. And I thought that was pretty fitting for me, because at that point, I fully trusted Jesus, and I knew he was my savior, and I knew that he died for all my sins. And I just started feeling like a lot for me changed like emotionally. I started feeling loved, which I never really felt like that before. And I just felt like that hole in my heart was finally being filled. And then another very important step for me personally was my baptism at Rock City. So it was actually the day that one of my older teammates, she was planning on getting baptized. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm like, I need to plan things. Like, I don't do anything spontaneously. That's just not me. And I don't know how many of you like have been to baptism at Rock City, but that moment when Chet always asks if anybody wants to go spontaneously, like, get up and go. And I was just like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta do this. So I got baptized that day, and I was so blessed that day to just feel the presence of God. And I felt such deep joy, and I felt so beautiful that day that I've never felt that way before. Like, that's a moment that I just will never forget. And it was just like, for me, it just showed to the outward and like through feelings how my heart has changed and how far I had come in my life, in my faith. Like, that was just the big transformation. It was like the day that finally finalized everything. So after that, I got more involved in AIA. I started going to the team Bible studies, and I started getting involved in church and like started serving and all that, because I was just like really eager to start growing in my faith. But I think the most growth that I've done was in all the struggles that I had experienced since then, especially in my sport. And I think that's something all of you can relate to. Like, I had a couple injuries that I had to go through, or even just test pieces that we had to do. But from that moment, I just knew, like, it was very different, because in the past, I was always somebody that when I was struggling, I always did it by myself. I didn't want help from anybody. But now my mindset had completely changed, because I knew that it wasn't just me. Like, I knew that Jesus was always with me, and that I could do everything like with him. But that was just a very big change mentally for me in my test pieces. And that also showed in my performance. Like, I got better because I was just not doing pieces or like dealing with struggle by myself. I always had Jesus to lean on, and just like felt that support. Like, he became my rock and was more and more important the harder it got. So I want to leave you guys with a quote. Yeah, it's not a quote, it's a verse. So that was just something that I keep going back to, and it's on my wall actually in my room. So it's, I don't know, I just really like it because it shows kind of like my way. But I'm gonna stop talking and read it out to you. It's Psalm 139:14, and it says, "I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth thy law."